Team of many eyes. People in the chat, please tell me if my sound is too high or low. I can't tell. We're having some problems here. Um, so today I am with Dylan, who plays
Hi.
Lena in in one of my campaigns, and you can also find him on many other streams, I believe. Is that correct?
Many others, yes.
So we just watched day two of the stream of many eyes, and I missed some of it. I had some problems. Uh, but apparently what just happened now. Oh, Lisa's here too. Good. Okay. Hi,
Oh,
Lisa. Um, apparently what just happened after the stream is over was they announced another product just now. Just now. Dylan,
just now.
can you give the details? Like what did they say?
Okay. So the new product, besides Dragon Heist, is Waterdeep Dungeon of the Mad Mage, which is a level 20, a level 6 to 20 adventure in Undermountain. And basically, what they described, every level is going to have like its own villains and themes, but there's going to be like connecting threads. So like things you do on one layer might affect them later, and there's going to be all sorts of like extra planner monsters and stuff
Oh,
that Halaster's brought in to populate his dungeon and protect his treasures.
that is crazy.
Awesome.
Did they say anything about it sounds like you could go right from Dragon Heist to the Undermountain adventure, right?
It sounds that way, yeah. I
Um,
think I only caught like I kind of missed the very beginning of it.
uh,
But I think they said something like, if you want to keep the adventure going in Waterdeep, well, we have the thing for you.
Anybody in chat, if you have more details, let me know because I mean this like just happened,
Yeah.
and
Oh my
it's
goodness.
I why why did they do it like this? I mean I'm not criticizing it. I'm just
It
why
is a
did they
little
do
weird that
this?
they did it after the stream.
Why did this happen? Why did they do it like this? I don't understand.
I'm sure they already have it up on the D&D Beyond YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, but like why did they make two Waterdeep adventures?
I don't know, but they sound different enough that you could probably. I don't know. It's really weird how they decide to do it, but um, they sound cool, like cool adventures.
I
So
do
I.
like how they don't have a formula every
Mhm.
year. They kind of feels like they kind of play it by just what feels right, you know. Like in the beginning, there was the Tyranny of Dragons, which was two connected books.
Mm.
And the next was Princes of the Apocalypse, which was all in one book. You know, and then they went to Ravenloft, and they've been kind of keeping you on your toes. So
Mm.
this is really just kind of
Yeah,
like shocked.
two adventure types that I don't think we've had in fifth edition so far. Like a completely urban one
hmm
with like political intrigue and stuff,
hmm
and like a mega dungeon,
Yeah.
which.
So for viewers who might not know, um, well, even most people who played 5e are going to know already on Tales from the Yawning Portal. The Yawning Portal bar has a well in it, which has an entrance to Undermountain, which is this huge dungeon underneath. And Undermountain was kind of created and maintained by Hallister Blackcloak or something like that.
Yeah.
Crazy, the Mad Mage, right? A crazy a wizard who I guess died but might be back or something like that. Or
No
and
one's really sure. He
this
disappears sometimes, and then it turns out he's alive, and it's like, oh, okay.
Lisa is saying it sounds like every level is really different.
Yeah,
So
they mentioned a few. There's like a forest in one, and there's like underwater in one, and there's a whole castle down there, like inside the dungeon in like a demiplane.
really,
Yeah.
wow, that's really crazy. Oh, hey, WebDM is hosting us. That's awesome. Thank you, WebDM.
Nice.
So it's okay. So for newer fans of D&D,
Mm,
there's been a lot of Undermountain products in the past.
has been.
There was an Undermountain box set in second edition, then there was Undermountain: The Lost Levels. Then there was Undermountain Stardock, and I think in third there was Expedition to Undermountain, and in fourth there was a hardcover of Undermountain. And I don't think any of them actually give you the entire dungeon. It's a mega dungeon. It's
Oh yeah.
gigantic. They give you pieces. Like the original box set didn't give you the whole dungeon. They gave you all sorts of stuff to make your Undermountain.
Hmm.
And there's also, I think the very first encounter season in fourth edition was Hallister's Lost Apprentice, where you go into a newly discovered section of Undermountain, and his poor apprentice was affected by the spell plague and stuck in this ball of energy, and it was like the coolest solo fight. Oh, TK, hi. TK says she's wondering if she should pick it up, but if Lisa thinks it'll be good, you might. Well, to, it sounds like, here's the thing. Mega dungeons are tough to run, but
Oh yeah.
they seem like they know that, and so sounds like what they're doing is making it where you could pull one level out and use it however you want, in your game.
Hmm.
So it's like, again, it's more like a toolkit where you could just run it where they go through the whole thing, or you can pull out a whole dungeon and just plop it into your campaign separately for whatever you want to use it for. Lisa, they also mentioned that they include branches or something off of the dungeon levels, so you can make up your own stuff if you want.
Yeah, they mentioned like corridors that go off the map, and you can add stuff. And they also mentioned that Skullport is in there, the
Mm,
the underground Underdark trading port, where I
mm,
believe the Xanathar is actually in, where he's
mm,
at.
mm. Um,
Speaking of Xanathar.
all right, Ace God, you've asked me a question I cannot answer. I don't know what you're talking about, but I appreciate the comment. TK, that sounds way easier for newer DMs. More DMs Guild opportunities, says Ramrod. True.
Oh yeah,
Um, I'm like really bowled over by this. So it's a hardcover.
it seems that way. Yeah,
Hmm. Did they show the cover?
they did. I posted it on my Twitter. It has Halaster and a Beholder Lich,
Mm-hmm.
a Drow, an Illithid, and a Githyanki on the front. And on the back, it has a green dragon. It's a pretty impressive cover.
It has a Mind Flare and a Get Yankee on it.
Oh yes,
What the hell?
I am so excited for that. I love the Gith so much.
Wow, that's crazy.
He's
I've always wanted to. I'll never be able to do this. Oh, thank you, thank you, Lisa. I'm all out of alcohol, people. So
Thank
it
goodness.
didn't affect me in any way anyway, so it doesn't
Mm,
matter. But um, yeah. So I'd actually would have one thing I would always like to do is take every Undermountain product and try to make a dungeon using all of the material out of the
mm.
whole, all of them, mush them into one super mega dungeon. That would
Jeez.
take a very long time to do.
Oh
It'd be
yes,
fun though. It'd be a lot of fun to do.
3 year campaign through
Yeah.
Undermountain.
What would happen is I would make a guide to it on my blog, and then that would be it, pretty much. I'm never gonna run this. Um. Okay. So how crazy is that? So they announced a new pro. That's weird. They announced it like this. So like
Yeah,
right at the end. That's kind of
I
weird.
was like, I'm surprised Anna didn't announce it just at the end. It was just like, wait and see. 'Cause that could mean anything.
Okay. So today was a stream of many eyes, right?
It was.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. All right. It started off with, gosh, I'm so frazzled. What was the first show?
Sirens of the Realms.
Sirens of the Realms. Okay. So on that one, basically they went to a party. I think they tried to steal a handkerchief from Laeral Silverhand,
They did
ruler of Waterdeep.
from Laeral
Then
Silverhand.
they snuck through some vents and came upon, I guess, are those some of the masked lords of Waterdeep that they saw talking?
It sounded like it.
And they were
Yeah.
talking about their champions who
Hmm.
were in the next thing on the show.
Yes.
And so here's what I noticed from the Sirens of the Realms group. Um, oh, TK. I wonder if DCA will go to Undermountain because that's where Evelyn's dad passed, but she forgot he told her about it. I totally agree. I
Totally.
bet that will happen. Like, definitely. But, well, I would say that that's Chris is planning on that, but who knows if
Oh
that'll
yeah.
actually happen. But yeah, that seems like something that should definitely happen. So,
After how his tomb plans got thrown off, yeah, it's kind of iffy.
so the Sirens of the Realms.
Mm.
Um, This is the first time I really got to watch them.
Same.
And here's what I noticed from this group. Ghost, Vivid Vivka, I think is her name,
Hmm.
is like hilarious and like has tons of charisma and like she's just awesome. But the rest of the group kind of wasn't able to. It was kind of like she unintentionally dominated the game. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So as it went, it was kind of getting like, and she's just a naturally like,
Yeah,
you know, and she's hilarious,
vivacious
and the things
person.
she did were awesome, and she's just so funny, and it was like, but the rest of the group was kind of like, kind of taking a back seat a little bit, and it was I don't think I've ever seen that before, where she's like so
I don't know that
like
I've seen it to that extent, but I've seen shades. You
well, you
know.
you get like a player
Yeah.
who kind of like dominates the group. I felt like she wasn't intentionally like stamping everybody down. She was just so quick and she had so many
Mm.
ideas and she just shot them out so fast that it was like you're kind of like dazed, like who is this person? Like this is amazing. And she was awesome. It was like immediately I was like, because one of the things I like about these streams is you look for good players and DMs, and immediately I'm
Mm.
like, she's on my all-star team. And but the others, I couldn't really, I didn't really get to see much of their characters or anything. And also I noticed Satine as a DM is like um, somebody in the chat. Here's one thing about these shows: the Twitch chat, man.
I didn't even have it open.
It wasn't horrible, but it was
Uh-huh.
more negative than normal, which
Mm.
is like disappointing. You don't want to see that. Um, but in this like, oh geez, what's going on here? Yeah, I'm seeing alcohol icons. Don't worry. I'm not gonna keep reading those. Um, but what I noticed was people were comparing Satine to Matt Mercer, and it's
Mm.
like you can't compare. You know, everybody
Oh
has
no.
their own style. So Satine has kind of developed her own style, which is not quite as actory. Not
Hmm.
not as voicey or whatever. And
Yeah.
she every DM has a different kind of rulings, and sometimes I don't know. I thought actually she had like in my goofball opinion, like she's improved a lot as a
Hmm.
DM, and like uh the whole thing was just kind of like I had never really thought much about Sirens of the Realms because I don't have the
Hmm.
space for it, but watching them here was like, oh okay, this is pretty good. Like the group is like, okay, they're a band of bards,
I
and
like that
that's
idea a
that's
lot.
really awesome. Yeah, what did you think of the show?
It was very entertaining. It was better than Force Grey yesterday. That one was kind of like iffy for me, and not just because of the technical problems,
Hmm.
but I really enjoyed Sirens of the Realms. It
Hmm.
was good for the first time I've seen it. It was good.
This was essentially a very similar scenario to the Forest Gray one,
Hmm.
but this one, yeah, this one came off better
Hmm.
because there was a lot of between in the Forest Gray game. There's a lot of like pushing and pulling between the group. I think because they haven't played before,
Exactly.
so they
Yeah.
weren't in sync and they were all going in different directions. And then they were trying to stay together, and it was like there was a lot of colliding going on. And this one, I think they already had their dynamic set, and I think that's why it worked better. So after that, okay,
Hmm.
this is okay. So after that, from what I understand, there's these went on throughout the day, right? Where they would
Yes.
do these kind of live action role play slash escape room scenarios run
Hmm.
by I think Ivan
Oh, I
Norman,
don't
is
remember
that
his
his
last
name?
name. I think it is. Yeah.
Okay, so he ran them. He does a lot of stuff I think on Geek and Sundry, I think.
Hmm.
So he got Satine, uh, Mark Hulmes, the DM from Encounter Roleplay, Rosie Beestinger from Acquisitions Inc., and I'm not sure who the monk was.
B. Dave Walters.
Okay, right?
I think he plays in Maze Arcana. I
Okay.
think.
So they're all dressed up like their characters, um, and they're in the Waterdeep set. And so what would happen between each show was the group would have like a task, they were trying to find this stone. And so they had to
Mm.
solve these puzzles. And it was funny because they weren't they had a
They weren't
really
very good at it.
they had a really and I'm terrible at puzzles. So I would have been so what happened was I saw the first segment of this, right?
Yes, in the
And it
yawning portal.
felt like really awkward. And I'm thinking to myself like, why are they doing this? This is weird, and I'm not comfortable with this, right? But then the second one, everybody
Hmm.
loosened up, and then it was pretty awesome. And
Oh yeah.
from then on, I'm like, I really like this, and I would watch this. Here's the thing about those. I wouldn't want to play in one of those, or be, but I think they make for good shows, like a
Yeah.
totally new kind of show. And the guy who ran it, Ivan, was amazing at it. He was he has like the best voice. He reminds me of James Spader, that guy,
Uh-huh.
and Robert California from The Office. And yeah, they're the off the table segments, yeah. And and Satine looked so just she just looked beautiful. Like I mean, she just did. They all looked fantastic. Mark
Oh
is
yeah.
like a funny guy. The monk was an awesome character.
Oh
Rosie
yeah.
Beestinger, everybody loves Rosie Beestinger.
Of
And it was
course.
like so as it went, it was like this is really cool. Like I really liked it a lot, and it's like if if someone had said to me, "Oh, they're gonna do this on the stream," I would have been like, "That is the stupidest idea." Like that's gonna be horrible and awkward. But you know what? It was not. It was not at all. It was not. It was amazing. What did you think of those off the table things?
It was pretty rad. The fact we got that Stone of Galore
Uh huh.
thing
Uh huh.
that we heard like the Stone of part in DCA last night,
Hmm.
and there was the no stone unturned thing all leading up to this, and it was really interesting having all that, and we got to see all sorts of like special guests like Rudy Woot as Durnan and
Yeah.
freaking Ed Greenwood as Elminster
Yeah.
in the outfit he has worn for like the last 40 years playing
Yeah.
Elminster.
Yeah.
We
And
got Miskin Boo and oh my goodness.
and Lisa Lee was there, who had guest starred in a couple episodes of Dice Camera Action way back when. And
Hmm.
like she's like just really, she's like a good actress. So it was just like I was because in the beginning I'm like, ugh, you know
Hmm.
what I mean? But once if you give it a chance and and once they start laughing and kind of like just having fun, it's really fun to watch. I thought
I think.
I didn't even know what puzzles they were trying to solve. That was the weird thing. Like I think they need to tweak the what they do in there
Hmm.
because I mean they're looking at a piece of paper. We can't see the paper, you know, and they're
Yeah.
trying to put pieces of items together, and we can't really see what they're doing. So I think they should try to tweak that in a way where we can follow what they're doing.
Hmm.
I don't know how to do that, but it was also cool because watching D&D games where people are sitting at a table back to back to back to back, it's kind of painful. But they broke it
Get a
up
little
with
back.
those off the table things, and it was like a nice way to, kind of give you a break or whatever. So
Hmm.
I thought those were really good. It was a crazy
And
idea.
the ongoing story thing that connected all the sessions was a really good idea too.
Mhm. And that's right, Shauna. Um, Diath was there.
Diath was there.
He
He
was
was
sitting.
talking to some tiefling
Yeah,
lady.
he was talking to some other tiefling. What is that? What is that?
He said it was strictly business, but I'm not sure.
Uh, well, I think the Zentarin that they met in the session yesterday, one
Mm,
of them was a tiefling, I think. And
maybe.
that tiefling who he was sitting with, like, looked awesome. Like,
Oh
she's
yeah,
just really cool, like,
she looked
looking.
really good.
Yeah, it was just like this was a thing, man. It was like this is like they each year they take it up like 5 notches, and it feels like they still haven't fully figured out. what these things
Hmm.
are yet, but it's fun to kind of watch, and see
The
where it goes.
evolution.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, oh, another thing I wanted to talk about.
Hmm.
Um, okay. Again, you don't want to embrace the negativity or whatever, but you get
Hmm.
these people, a few people, and it's just a few. And they'll say somebody was saying things like, there's one guy in particular on Twitter, and I don't even think he was trying to be mean or anything like that. He was just saying that he felt like these shows are all full of good-looking people that in their 20s, like it's a Coke commercial, and that
Hmm.
he felt kind of like
I saw that.
I don't know if he said it doesn't feel like real D&D. I think he meant like he felt kind of like he was left out.
Hmm.
What do you think about that?
I can kind of understand that with like the rise of streaming. You see all these like famous, good-looking people
Hmm.
playing, and it kind of raises your expectations.
Hmm.
I think for like playing, like you expect people to have Matt Mercer voice acting skills or
Hmm.
something,
Hmm.
or Chris Perkins' ability to just weave these crazy stories or whatever. But it's just one of those things. I don't think it's that big a deal.
I think that well, one of the things was the implication that some of them weren't there because they like D&D, just because it was
Mm,
like a some kind of acting opportunity or something. And I didn't feel that from any of them.
no.
I don't think you would sign up for this because it's kind of a way out left field kind of a thing.
Mm.
And
It's not like there's some big thing that's going to advance your career wildly.
mm,
I don't think.
and it's like here's what I was thinking. If you feel that way, I if you have a stream
Oh.
and your stream gets popular enough, they're gonna put you on this one of these things, right?
Hmm.
So to me, what's gonna end up happening is um, we're gonna find out what people want to see, you know. And I honestly think that the people who are whatever you look like, whoever you are, if you have a good D&D show, you're going to end up with a spotlight on you, as your numbers go up, you're going to get noticed. So I think anybody who might feel discouraged because maybe they're not like a model or whatever,
Mm.
I honestly don't think that matters. I think if you have a show and you can make your show really awesome and make people want to watch it, then you'll be on stuff like this. I think that's how it's going to work. So I hope people don't get discouraged, because I don't fault them for taking people like they put together some shows
Hmm.
like with famous YouTubers, right? I looked up this Vivica person. I was utterly fascinated with this person, and she's like 230,000 followers on Instagram. She's a Patreon, like she's a
Hmm.
cosplayer. She's like a kind of a famous person. So I
Mm.
guess I don't even know what famous means anymore, but that's probably one of the reasons why they grabbed her because they want to take her followers and bring them into the D&D fold.
Mm.
So I think that's part of what's going on here. It's not just like we just need good-looking people or whatever. I think it's we want to build a following. We want to get people from all these areas all over the internet and get them all into this show. So if you build your own following, they'll grab you. And I mean, I think there's other ways to get it in or whatever. It just
Mm.
kind of bums me out that people feel left out because I feel like the door is wide open, right?
Yeah.
I think if you just plug away and do your thing and have a good show and run a good game,
That
make good
that's really
products.
that's
Mm,
really all you have to do. Just
mm,
do you have fun
mm,
and you know
mm. And just and don't get discouraged if success doesn't come in like 2 months. You know?
yeah, look at the WebDM guys. Look where they are now
Yeah,
compared to where they were. Like,
yeah, yeah. And like you know, I know we're way off topic here, but
oh
there's a
wow.
there's a guy. Okay, his name is James J. Hayek. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right.
Yes.
So a couple years ago, I started seeing him post on Twitter,
Hmm.
and I don't know him. I've only interacted with him a few times, but here's the picture I have of him in my head. He got out of college. he said, "All right, I want to work in D&D." So he just started sending his resume out and working for anybody he could. And I think he was an intern at Critical Role. I think, not positive.
Mhm.
He did some work for Kobold Press. He did some work for all these other people. Then he got some Adventures League stuff, and now he works like full time for D&D Beyond. And he was at the Stream of Many Eyes, and he's 22 years old,
Yeah.
and like I I I know this is weird. I feel like he's like my kid, you know, and I'm so proud of him and everything he does. I watch all the stuff he does, and I'm like, because he's just doing it the way you should do it. You
Not
work,
only that,
you put yourself
he
out there.
helped he helped write Dragon Heist as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
which we also learned more about today. We learned who one of the villains is in Dragon Heist.
Hmm.
It is a clone of Manchun, the founder of the Zhentarim.
Hmm.
And
Right.
Chris Perkins described him as like the Blofeld of this adventure. Who Blofeld, if people don't know, is like the iconic James Bond villain who Doctor Evil and Austin Powers is modeled after.
Ah,
And I find that fascinating.
okay.
The idea that he's a clone. And when Zondala showed up yesterday in DCA, I actually thought she might be a clone
Oh,
instead of like a twin. I don't know.
that could be. Right. He's done repeatedly. Chris has used simulacrums, the clones made of ice and snow.
Oh
That's
yeah,
kind of a recurring thing he's done with Paulton twice. So it would be interesting if Wandala was actually just a simulacrum too. Let's see, a couple comments in here. Shauna says there's a bit of resentment from longtime players and the explosion of popularity via streaming. Yeah.
hmm
Again, I would tell anybody there's no need to be bitter. I feel like we're still in the early stages, and you can stake your claim right now because there's just, to me, there's like limitless opportunities right now for everybody. For everybody, that's how I feel. Uh,
totally.
TK, a lot of work for not a lot of clout. TK has been drinking, everybody. um, she feels like. Oh, wait, on. I'm sorry. TK thinks I genuinely believe they are attempting to be more inclusive by displaying different faces in D&D. I agree,
Mm.
definitely.
You
Um,
missed Rivals of Waterdeep, right?
yeah,
That it was a really good show, I will say. And like everyone there was a person of color, and they were all hilarious. I knew of three of them from beforehand from a podcast called The Dungeon Rats, and I was looking forward to this so much. And there were just puns galore through the whole thing. It was
yeah.
lovely.
And that was run by the Godsfall guy, right?
Yes,
Hmm.
who had quite an outfit.
He had blue lipstick, right?
Blue lipstick.
Was it a reference to the D&D movie from the year
I
2000?
I believe so.
That's
I did not
that's
realize at
fucking
first,
amazing.
but
That's dedication. That's if he used that character as an NPC in the game, then you're taking it to another level. You know what I mean?
my God.
That's pretty good right there. I can remember. I don't know why, but way back when, there's special features on the DVD of the D&D movie from 2000, and there's one clip of like the rogue, who's actually looks quite a bit like Diath in that movie, the
Hmm.
main character, Dabadar. That's the name. It's funny. That's the bad guy's name was Dabadar. Uh, and like the rogue, they show a scene where they don't have any effects in it. It's just the
Hmm.
rogue like reacting to something, and like it's just like a stick in front of a green screen, and it just killed me. And I would watch it over and over, and I would die laughing because he was like, and it's like it's just a stick. And I don't know why, but I loved that so much. Um, they should see if they could get Marlon Wayans to play Snails on a stream like this. That'd be pretty good, right?
It'd be fun.
I would like to see that. I would. I really would. I'm the kind of schmuck who would play. I would want to play a Jar Jar character if I ever played a Star Wars game. I would want to do that. So, like that race, the Gungans. I would
The
want to do that.
Gungans.
Yeah. Okay. So can you? So what happened on Rivals of Waterdeep? Like what
Okay,
happened?
So there was this group. They had to get a loan from Mert the Moneylender, who was like
Really?
the very first, yes, the very first Forgotten Realms character that
God.
Ed Greenwood ever wrote about.
Uh-huh.
They got a loan from him, and bought their way into Blackstaff Tower,
Uh-huh.
where there was a scroll with the runes that we've seen on the little keys that No Stone Unturned has been sending out.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to decipher this message using these little magical stones. Uh, a few of them, when they touched them, would summon like elementals that they had to fight and all of that. But eventually, it was like a little puzzle they had to do as they deciphered the runes and figured out that it said the Stone of Galore has 3 eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and that was used as a clue in the next Off the Table right after that.
Yeah.
And it was pretty hilarious, the whole thing. I will definitely watch that.
It was good.
Oh yeah.
Why is it called Rivals of Waterdeep?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Jeanette says, now we need a stream where we watch the D&D movie and have commentary live. I would do that in a second. I would love to do that.
I haven't seen it since I was like 4 years old.
I would do that.
So
Jeremy Irons clearly did not want to be in that movie. Like there's some of the behind the scenes footage, like they show where he does one of his big speeches. As soon as he's done, he turns and just walks off to his dressing room like disgusted. Doesn't say anything to anybody. It's like, oh my god, this is the most awkward. And the main actor kept calling the director by the wrong name.
oh my
The
god.
director's name was Courtney, but he kept calling him Corey. I'm just like, this is ugly, man. This is a lot of not fun. But I'm like,
Yikes.
it's like, So all right. So there's Rivals of Waterdeep, and there's more Off the Table, and
Yep.
then Girl Scouts Glory.
Yes.
So what happened on that one? It was gosh, I always forget her name. The dwarf, was the dwarf on it?
Yes.
I
It
love
was.
her so much.
The fighter who is also a lover.
Hmm.
They arrived in Waterdeep.
Sujata Day, is that her name?
Yes. Yep. They arrived in Waterdeep, and there were all sorts of adventurers, and the guards were all tired because they were dealing with all these crazy adventuring parties looking for treasure. Evidently, the prisons in Waterdeep. Yes. Evidently, the prisons in Waterdeep are like overflowing with murderers and stuff because they had to, because all the adventurers in the city breaking the law. You know.
Really? That's
Yes.
smart.
They released all like the lesser people like for petty theft and stuff, I guess, to make room. So they helped out the guards by going down into like this black market place with gnomes. There was a big fight. There was accidental deaths with Moonbeam. And at the very end, one of the gnomes that they had helped escape said something like, Jarlaxle sends his regards, and teleport out of there.
Oh, you wanted, okay, so can you explain to me and people what's the deal with Jarlaxle? Who is this guy?
Jarlaxle.
Yeah.
Jarlaxle is a drow guy, incredibly flamboyant. He has a ton of magic items.
He does.
Including a magic eye patch. And a hat with a portable hole in his hat, which is lovely.
That's cool.
Yeah. He is the son of like one of the top matron mothers in Minzo Buranzan, the big drow city. And he decided, well, since I'm a drow male, I'm just going to leave the hierarchy and strike out on my own. And he founded this big mercenary company called the Bregan Darth or something. And so they just go everywhere doing their mercenary things. So I assume he's one of the 4 villains in Dragon Heist. And
Really?
I believe so. I think the 4 people on the cover besides Xanathar, I think those are the 4 villains.
So so the villains, let's see. So there's Jarlaxle, the Xanathar, maybe.
Xanathar.
Manchun.
I think the guy in the hood is Manchun.
And who else?
Because in the other art he has like the snake around his arm. And then there are those 2 nobles. And I'm not sure who they are. The lady might be the noble that Chris has mentioned on DCA, the one who owns the Brazen
Dashlane?
Pegasus. No, no, no.
Oh,
Rajnar,
yeah,
I think.
Rashnar, yeah.
I think that might be her. I am not sure,
Hmm.
but that's my guess.
Hmm.
Throwing it out there. The guy, I have no idea.
Okay, so that was Girls Guts Glory. How was it? Was
Yeah,
it good?
I enjoyed it. I missed a little bit because I had to go get dinner, but
Hmm.
the what I saw, I enjoyed it. I
Okay.
It's a very fun group.
All right. And then I got back into the stream with the last show, Dark and Dicey.
Mm,
Um,
dark and
okay,
dicey.
so on Dark and Dicey, basically it was just one long chase. There's a
Yes.
dire boar pulling a cart that the heroes were in. Um, the heroes ended up with the stone with the three eyes on it, and they actually had a prop of it, like
Mm.
stone, and it was, it's a weird item.
In the off the table segment right before that, they had found it in a fish tank with all of these little goldfish that looked exactly like Stilgrin, the Xanathar's fish.
Yeah.
I think they might be like replacements that someone was gonna, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because his fish dies a lot, evidently.
Mm. But he would freak out if he knew, right?
Yeah,
So they
exactly.
secretly switch it, right?
And Mark Hume's character, I forget his name, but he's like a warlock of Glacia, the
Mm-hmm.
daughter of Asmodeus, and he stole it and gave it to the
Mm-hmm.
Dark and Dicey crew.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh,
So Dark and Dicey, I've seen like little pieces of it, but
mm,
this is the first time I watched a whole episode. Um, let's see. Okay.
mhm.
Okay. Uh, this is like the best looking group of people, like of you know what I mean? Like Nate is a good looking guy, and then there's like this Justin Bieber guy next to him. It's
Oh,
like
Zach Callison, yeah,
this is like this is the charisma is off the charts. People on the comeliness scores are outrageous.
come,
And the other two are awesome too. Trixie, it's like and
yeah,
like and Zach was
yes.
awesome. He was
Oh my
awesome.
God, yeah, right.
He plays an evil character, and he was
Which
evil.
is
Yeah.
which is totally different from his most famous voice acting role as Steven Universe on Cartoon Network.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, Trixie's got a really cool gimmick. She just turns into a demon.
right.
Uh, and the DM is like phenomenal, Kenji.
Yeah.
He's like
He's very
amazing.
good. He's very good at keeping it flowing and
Hmm.
very good at like little interjections from like NPCs.
Hmm.
Like the first episode of Dark and Dicey, I was blown away
Hmm. But
by like
here's the one, and I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I think Kenji's like really good, really, really good. And like, it's what's interesting about him is like he could run a game just like Matt Mercer, um,
oh
or
yeah.
or he could run a game like Mark Hulmes, who's to me, uh, well, Matt Mercer's they're all good, but Matt Mercer's more of an actory style, and I think Mark is more of a like a kind of a all around kind of style person.
Hmm.
And I feel like Kenji could do either. He could do. He's like, and here's the one criticism I have, and I don't mean this like, you know, he. I felt like he wasn't letting them. It was there's points where he was just telling a story,
I can see
where
that.
he just put them on the cart and they're going in the cart. And like when she turned into a demon, he just said
Hmm.
what happened. There was no dice rolls. There was no nothing, and it felt to me a little bit like they were just kind of along for the ride to a degree. And that was like the one criticism I had, and like it's not a big deal. He could fix that I think pretty easily. But
I
that
can
was
see
something
that.
that stuck out to me. Like,
I think part of it was just the it being this part of this event because I the Dark and Dicey I've seen has been very player driven. The other episodes,
mm,
he's changed a lot of stuff based on what they've done. You
mm,
can tell.
yeah,
So
it was just on this one. It felt like he
yeah.
had this chase mapped out, and that's it. They were on the chase, and the group
Hmm.
the group didn't fight it, but I kind of felt like, although I will
Hmm.
say they got into the cemetery, and Zach asks the stone, "Can you raise yeah,
Can you bring them back?
and he's like, how many? He's like, all of them. And it's like, as a DM, like that's two things. One, that's awesome, right? You light up, and the other thing is like, whoa, this is how do I do this? It's gonna wreck everything. And like to his credit, the DM said, yes, but it'll take a few hours. And I think, I mean, I don't know what that thing's powers are, but I thought it was really cool that he was like, you know,
Hmm.
okay, you know, you know what I mean? Like I was like, oh, this guy's freaking awesome,
Totally.
and the players were in it. I felt like for an evil group, Nate was being too good, and the other guy was being too good. I felt like,
Kovacs?
yeah, felt like
Yeah.
they should dial up the
The evil
villainy,
levels?
yeah, a little more. But it was and the show went really fast,
Yeah.
and he's Kenji has that rare skill of being able to roleplay a conversation with himself with two different NPCs, which is like my worst nightmare as a
Yes.
DM. But he was having the boar and the other guy like kind of talk and whatever, and it was like this dude's got like his toolbox. He's like in baseball they're like he's like a 5 tool player. It's like this guy's got like 7 tools. It's like amazing, and it's like it's gonna be fun to watch him kind of like the more games he gets going. I don't know, maybe he's already run a million games, but like he's just gonna get better, and it's like, pff. And that's
Yeah.
the cool thing about these streams is I think the game is going to evolve as everybody watches everybody else run. We can
Mm.
learn from each other's mistakes. We can also learn how to run a game on a stream as opposed to just at a table with some people eating chips. And the game is going to turn into something different. And so part of this was this stream. For part of it, I was feeling like the divide between because some of this show was actors,
Mm.
um, kind of. This felt very like actory, like LARPy, you know. And it was
Mhm.
for me in the beginning, it almost felt like an invasion of like the LARPers, where it's like leave my D&D alone. That was my first initial feeling, like what are you doing to me? You know what I mean? But then it was like once you like like relax your sphincter for a second, I was like, okay, all right, we're okay. This is all right, you know. And it's just like it's just a really weird thing to see. Like I think the game, it, if this popularity stays, and it feels like it's not going anywhere for a while at least.
Mhm.
In 5 years, like I think there's going to be DMs that are going to be a million times better than anybody now. Like Chris Perkins is like there's going to be a person 5 years from now who's going to be much better than Chris Perkins.
Chris
You know?
Perkins 2.0.
Yeah, and it's going to be like things we're doing now. People are going to scoff at 5 years from now.
Probably.
And I feel
Just
like
like just like people now do like Gary Gygax's style of DMing, you know?
right.
Yeah,
But the progression was much slower because people couldn't watch each other as much. You'd have to go to a con.
exactly.
I will never forget the story about a few years ago. Some guys went to Gary Con and they played a game run by Rob Kuntz, who was the
Hmm.
first D&D player. Basically, he ran Lord Robilar in Gary Gygax's Castle Greyhawk, and he play tested the Temple of Elemental Evil alone, and he
Alone,
tore
yeah.
the place apart. And Gary was so angry he sent like an army of evil after him, right? So Rob Kuntz ran a game for some people,
Hmm.
and the one guy just got up and left because it was so unpleasant. Because he was still running the game in the player skill mentality, where
Hmm.
you know um, if you I'm challenging your skills and you should know to check for secret doors and you need to know what your spells do and all know what the monsters do and stuff like that. And it was just like a very just so weird, and the guy was like, I don't want this isn't fun. And I also remember hearing a story about a kid who was playing with Dave Arneson at a convention, the
Hmm.
co-creator of D&D, the guy who did
Yep.
Blackmore. And so Dave Arneson was running a game, and something happened to the kid's character, and he just had to sit at the table for, like a 6-hour session. He had to sit at the table for like 3 hours, and the kid said, this isn't fun. Dave Arneson was like, what do you? Well, you shouldn't have blah blah blah. That's why you're in a coma or whatever like that. It's
Mm.
a totally different mentality to now.
Yeah.
And so now it's like now I feel like the evolution is gonna like just it's gonna happen much faster. So and
Hmm.
it's no idea where we're gonna end up. That's how it feels. right? So yeah, let me check the Jeanette. That's why you kill off my NPCs. Thank you very much. Uh, Jeanette, I think streaming is helpful in showing potential DMs that there is no one style. Everyone runs their game in their way, and that's okay.
Oh yeah.
Mhm. Like, in even the same adventure, two people will run it completely differently.
Oh yeah.
I ran my
So
tomb. My tomb game is probably completely different from everybody else's tomb game.
exactly. I was going to say you played your tomb very kind of goofy. I know people who have played it serious
Hmm.
as hell.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, and there's no wrong way as long as it's fun.
Exactly.
And like I always say, DMs are sort of like directors. There's like Alfred Hitchcock, there's Steven Spielberg, there's Quentin Tarantino, and everybody has their own style. So whatever, man. It's not like there's a, as long as it's fun and yeah, there's a million ways to do it.
Hmm.
Genly, I unpopular. Oh, okay. I'm afraid to read this. Unpopular opinion. That's a hard way to start. I didn't really like the first episode of Dark and Dicey. Some of them seemed a bit lost, but has improved so much even since the second episode. Well, I didn't see either of the first two, so I don't know. But I enjoyed the third one. I did.
Hmm.
I thought it was good. It was just good. So tomorrow they just announced the new adventure. That's crazy. So tomorrow there's four shows, right?
Yes.
So I know Dice
There's
Camera
oh
has.
geez. There's Witches of Briarwood.
Uh,
I think it's what it's called.
Jocks.
There's Jox Machina. Yeah.
Uh,
I saw a video today that Mike Merles took. Evidently, Joe Manganiello rolled stats for the Hand of Vecna, which his character Archon has.
wow. Wow.
So that should be fun.
Wow.
I'm not sure what the fourth show is.
Yeah, I think.
They said it.
Oh,
I
Mark
forgot.
Hulmes, I think, is running a
Right.
Stone Turned. I think it's called like some
Right.
special one-shot thing. Yeah. So yeah, it's
And I'm sure we're gonna get a ton of information about Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
right.
Oh my
Shauna, I wish there
gosh.
was an overlap between all the shows tomorrow. I,
Hmm.
I guess I have to look at the schedule. I don't know. It's weird that they would do that.
That is weird.
Yeah. Okay. So, um, that's about it. Anything else you want to say, Dylan, before we wrap it up? Anybody in the chat got any last
Oh geez, I
little
don't think
arrows or
so. Not that I
sort of
saw.
monologues?
I could go on and on about Dragon Heist and like the art that Chris Perkins has showed and freaking everything.
Yeah.
I love these streams so much.
Yeah. It's. Do you think? I was thinking, should they turn this into a convention? Do you think, or
I don't know.
I feel like they should do something else besides this. You know?
I think they might be taking like steps that direction now that they've like invited people to come and watch the shows live.
Hmm.
It's possible it could expand to like something wider because they've had like parties and get-togethers while shows are going, and
Hmm.
I could see it happening.
Because like if they're charging for tickets to watch these, that would be easier to do with a con
Hmm.
than kind of like just inviting people out there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. People have things to say. Here we go.
Oh.
Jeanette says Mark Hulmes' show is called Adventure Impractical. Um, Lisa says, I'm not sure what that. Okay, Shauna, anything? He's got a question for you, Dylan. Is there
Hmm.
anything that stood out lore-wise today?
I looked into the Stone of Galore. It is new, evidently. I did not find anything. Um. Chris Perkins. He talked about an NPC when Xanathar's Guide to Everything came out.
Mm,
Who's like Xanathar's second in command, named Amerigo, who's this dwarf with what Chris Perkins says is a minotaur fetish. And yeah, Chris Perkins posted art yesterday of some characters, and I saw one, and I said, I asked him, "Is that Amerigo that I see?" And he said, "Yes, yes, it is." So I looked into Amerigo, and evidently he is like the lead slaver in Waterdeep
Mhm.
and is actually looking to leave the Xanathar's guild and make his own thing. So I wonder if that will come into play at all
Maybe
in Dragon Heist.
he's gonna recruit some minotaurs.
Maybe it's possible.
Mhm. Um, let's see. Lisa, I would love a D&D convention. I would, well, uh, I'm too shy for cons, but in theory, I would like that. And TK says like an E3, but D&D. Yeah, definitely. Beat Crushers. People were complaining about the $200 ticket, but after seeing the set and all the giveaways and production value, $200 seems fair. They got a lot of free stuff. I think they got Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
They
They
did.
got the Art and Arcana preview book.
Oh my god.
I would like to see all the swag they got because, and you know what? I
I think
imagine
someone posted a picture of it on Twitter, but I don't remember all the stuff.
I imagine being there, you get to talk with all those people.
Right? Like Ed Greenwood is right there.
Yeah,
I saw so
right.
many people taking pictures with him, and I was like, ah!
I would be so nervous, like you know,
Lord,
like the dice camera action people would be there,
tell me about it.
and I'd be like, I'd have to run into the bathroom and like breathe in a bag, for a minute.
I
Uh,
get to meet Anna in person. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Uh, well, really, all of them. They're all
Oh
this.
yeah,
For me, I don't really watch TV that much. This is my TV, so like
same.
it's like my TV show is talking to me. That's how it feels. Like what is happening right now. So, Ramrod, I'm wondering how well support of high level play will be, not just in Undermountain, but in Waterdeep. Uh,
Part of me thinks that if they have room in Dungeon of the Mad Mage, they might like continue support of the downtime stuff they mentioned that's in Dragon Heist.
mm,
Just like, well, maybe your inn has a entrance to Undermountain, like a lower level that you can find, or
mm.
something like that. Or here's a magic item that can help your business. I don't know, something like that.
Doesn't seem to have been a problem of high level stuff. People run these adventures all the way through, sort of, I
More or
guess.
less.
I know Strahd only went to like 10, but people who played Tyranny. They did Rise of Tiamat. So people do seem to go. It doesn't seem to take as long. I remember in the olden days where getting to like 15th level was like, your whole high school, you know, years to get that high. At least that's how it felt at the time. But it's
hmm
really, if you play every week, you can do the whole thing in a reasonable amount of time without it feeling cheap, you know?
Yeah.
Um, Daigle, $200 for a swag bag in one show is much harder to swallow, but give me a con where I can play one shots and watch shows for 3 days, and I am all in. What would be cool is then if they do a con, smaller shows could also maybe broadcast from it on because I don't know if you guys noticed this. This is another D&D channel. It's called D&D underscore two, and if you watch that during the stream, it shows you split footage. One is of the Waterdeep set, and one is of an overhead shot of the D&D table set. And it was so weird to look at, but it was like, so they have a second channel. So
Mm.
if they did a stream and they had other smaller groups there, they could air them on the second channel while you have a small stage and a main stage. You know what I mean? They could
hmm
do that, and that would be a cool thing to do.
That would be cool.
Because there were some groups where it was like this year, the Dragon Friends from
hmm
Australia aren't here. Misclicks didn't get a show on.
Oh yeah, they didn't.
Um, and Encounter Roleplay feels like they should have a show on,
Probably.
right? They they
They're
do they
pretty
make
big.
they make a lot of stuff,
They're pretty
and
big.
they're and actually Roll20 Adam Koibel, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like right he's on their channel, right? So it's this is but I mean there's precious few spots, and I do like that they want to keep some slots open for special shows. Like one
I.
shot where you mush all these people together into some kind of special thing.
That's always fun. I did see on Twitter during the stream there were Mike Merles ran a game like behind the scenes, and so did Jeremy Crawford. And last night, I believe Luke Gygax also ran one behind the
Wow.
scenes.
Wow.
So I would love to see like all three of those. You
Hmm.
know?
That's another thing I would like to see them do on these shows is incorporate industry people that are, I don't know, prominent. Like if they, I
Hmm.
know Monty Cook is doing his own thing, but if they can get Monty Cook to do
If they
something,
could get Monty Cook,
I
if
would
they
really like that a lot.
if
Bruce
they if
Cordell.
they if they ever do a Planescape one, Monty Cook doing Planescape would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah, right. And
Oh my gosh.
people like that, and like just people from the like Wolfgang. I never know how to say his last name. Bauer, is that what it is? From Cold
Yeah.
World Press. He wrote a
Yeah.
ton of awesome D&D stuff, and he does
Yep.
cold. He does 5e stuff. It's kind of like I would like to see them mix in some of those people a bit, like the guy. And then like younger people, I would like to see like James Hayek
Hmm.
and James Incatrasso, I think his name is.
Yep.
I feel like they should be mixed in. Will Doyle. I think that would be cool to see some of them get mixed in a little bit. And Lisa Chen.
Lisa Chin, of course.
And I'm not just saying that because I know Lisa's awesome. She should be on.
She's
She
a
should.
very good player and a
Lisa
very good
should be.
DM.
Lisa should be on the stream of many eyes. There's no question to me.
It's true.
But she should. She belongs there. So I spelled where Lisa was about to call me out. It's true. No, it's really true. So I would like to see them mix in more industry people or like MT Black, who makes a lot of stuff on the DMs Guild.
Mm.
I feel like he should be involved if he wants to do stream stuff. Mike Shea, the Sly Flourish guy,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nerdarchy guys, Web DM. Web, and again, I mean, I know them and they're kind of my friends, but
Yeah.
the Web DM guys, they should be on the stream of many eyes.
I have played with both of them and they are awesome.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah.
Matt Colville. He was on I think last year.
I don't
He's
remember.
someone who he went, but he messed up his plane flight, so he had to leave a day early, so he missed the game, and he was just like he was devastated. It's like, but I mean I know there's only a
So
limited
would I be.
there's a limited number of spots, so I mean you can only do what you
Yeah.
can do, but I would like to see them mix in some of those kind of people if they can,
It'd be
especially like
nice.
let to me Monty Cook and Bruce Cordell are legends, and Sean K. Reynolds,
Mm.
just the whole Monty Cook Games crew. And I'd love to see like Larry Elmore, the artist.
I got to
He
meet Larry Elmore
really,
last year and I talked to him for an hour and it was like the best con experience I've ever had.
that's awesome.
He's amazing.
That is really awesome.
He,
And um and Tony DiTerlizzi, to me, he should be involved in some way. If they can get him to do anything, they should, because he's just awesome. So it's like, but again, it's funny. This is still like a new thing. So they're still growing and figuring everything out. So, uh, I don't know. I like this. This is like a great time for D&D. And
it
every day,
is.
it's like it just feels good. It's just like this is great. We're talking about D&D on the internet, and like a few people are gonna watch it. It's just like, what the hell, man? This is awesome. All right, so let me see. Any Belisknar, I imagine the Dragon highest book is going to have stuff that will last until later levels because it's a toolkit book for Waterdeep. Yeah, yeah, totally agree. Uh, let's see. TK, they better be there next year. Jim is a fantastic DM. Oh, that's because TK's on. Yeah, and those web DM shows, they're like the production quality is like really good, you know,
Yes.
and this is really good. Yeah, I don't want to go forever, but the Greyhawk channel I think is really good. Castle Mac is really good. Those are just really awesome channels. And then like I love watching Scotty Hood and Jeanette
Hmm.
run games too. That's so nice. Like it's so fun to watch like the blossoming. Like you'll have the Dice Camera Action Group, and then those players branch off into their own games, right? So now some of the people in my games are branching off into theirs, and it's like the tentacles, just like extend out everywhere, and it's just like really fun to watch. And then like you guys have your players, then they will branch. It's really cool. All right, so I think that's enough for this. Thank
I
you
could
very
go on,
much. Thank you much for doing this, Dylan.
of course,
And
anytime.
all right, and we're going to be back tomorrow night. I mean, I think it'll be Shauna and I, and we're going to wrap up the stream, and we'll probably
Mm,
have a lot more details on the new book, and who knows what else. We'll see.
yeah.
So, thanks everybody, and thank you everybody for being in the chat, and we'll talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.
All right, bye bye.